Hi guys. So I want to talk about this mod, how this works. This adapter that is plugged in that I'm not going to move is actually the adapter that ships with the DigiProg 3. Um, what an adapter does, this is a switching adapter, so it's actually slightly better than a regular adapter, is it takes your wall alternating current and makes it into essentially battery electricity called direct current. So AC to DC. This is an AC to DC converter. This specific one takes the US voltage, which is, I think it's 100 or 110, I always forget that, and it will output, so that's the input, and the output is DC, 12 volt at 2 amps, which this unit is rated for 32 volts at 2 amps. You don't actually want to come close to that 32 because if this is plugged in and you plug that into, like, let's say you have a higher voltage of an adapter, you plug it into a car, those two voltages will be flowing into this device. So if it goes over the specified amount, which is 32, it will burn out the device. This is 12. I don't work on trucks, and even if I did, if I did, I wouldn't use this specific adapter, or I would just use batteries, but I don't. I work on regular vehicles, which are 12 volts, so 12 plus 12, right, 24. So this mod includes this little project box that I had laying around, all of the stuff I had laying around, and the write-up. I'm actually suggesting a different path because here I had to solder some stuff in here, I had to glue it in here, just extra work. And you can just buy a pigtail, or just a female adapter that fits, and it's specified in the parts required, and essentially it'll just be like this cable, and then you can glue it where I have this box glued, or not glue it. The world is your oyster. But it will look sleeker and slimmer. I'm not going to open this box because I have this glued together. I could remove it, but I'm not going to, because then I'd add more work. So this is going to be a video walkthrough. What I have already done is removed the two rubber covers, removed the battery cover. This is for the demonstration. You actually don't need to do anything on the Wi-Fi battery side.
Correction, you actually do need to remove that because the Wi-Fi card needs to be removed in order to slide the other side out.
So what you actually do need to do is remove the cover from the business end and unscrew the 3 Phillips screws. And I don't know how many different versions of this device are there. So this is for my device. It has 3 screws. Okay, so demo time. I'm going to drop the this is not in use. It's looking for Wi-Fi, and bam, I connected to the Wi-Fi. So let me try to power this down. All right, it's off. So I'm going to remove the batteries out of the magazine. All right. Put the batteries over there. So here's me plugging it in with the wall. With the adapter to the wall. For Marcos specifically, watch for big firework. Oh. Boom! No explosions. And it's not even 4th of July. To my Wi-Fi, there it is. Great. So I'm going to power it down, and okay, so as per the recommendation, don't make this box, just buy the pigtail, less soldering, nice sleek unit. As a recap, I've removed these screws, the 3 Phillips screws, and I will show you how I connected the 2 ends that you will also have, whether you make this box or buy the pigtail, the female adapter. So a tool such as this is helpful for prying. This is from a kit that I have for interior. There it is. Oh, should remove this first because that's what that was actually holding. So if you pull this out a little bit, you can see here. This is the magazine of the batteries. Right? Like you put the batteries in here. There's no modification. You don't need to do anything on this side, save for removing the Wi-Fi card to make this easier. So whichever method you do, you will have a pigtail and it will have 2 wires, a red and black. And this is very important. Polarity in electricity is very important. So if you notice, the guys that made this device are also using red and black because that's the standard, and you can see that the red is connected to here and the black is connected, it's in the same bundle of wires, and it's connected to this plug. So there's several ways that I could have done this. I could have modified this plug or ran the wires into this plug. I didn't do that. I did it the way that I did it. I think I didn't really have too many options because I think my cables was fairly short. It doesn't really matter where you do this, and I would suggest to do it this way since this way is already working. So as you can see, what I did here is I soldered to the same spot, accidentally hitting theirs, but I just soldered my red wire to where their red wire is, and I did the same thing on this side to black. That's it. That is your modification. When you do start to do this, you will notice that the battery magazine, the ends are covered in some type of silicone. It's definitely going to be hard to see that silicone. I'm not sure how well this video is going to come out. There's like this rubber silicone that I had to peel back, and then I used some glue over it just to make it like they did. I'm not sure why they did that. It's definitely not very required. There's a rubberized backing back here anyways, but hey. So once you solder those 2 ends and you make sure that, if you're doing this, that like the way that I did it, where I had to solder the posts of that plug to the wires, I had to double check and triple check my polarity, right? Like, very important. I'll show you how polarity is determined, how to determine the proper polarity for this guy. And regardless if you do it this way or you purchase the pigtail, you need to make sure that that pigtail matches the polarity of the adapter. If it doesn't, if it's not specified, if you don't see how, ask the seller. You will literally burn out this device if the polarity is backwards. Okay, so to close it back up, just do it carefully. This is not a transmission. I know I have to. You guys didn't know this. Okay, so there's this ribbon or this bundle of wires. There's this ribbon that'll fold in easily. There's another ribbon here. If you pull it out further, this ribbon here, you don't need to pull it out this far, and you just need to be really careful when you solder. But if you do pull it out further, I mean, you can pull it out pretty far. So if you're putting it back in, this ribbon, as you can see, will get caught. So the proper way to do this is the way that it came from the factory, is fold it into this little, there's a little gap here where my wood toothpick is, and kind of fold it in like that. Don't do it with a pointy edge, do it with a blunt edge. And you can, well, maybe it's easier if I actually look at what I'm doing. Okay, so it should kind of look like this, right? And then I'll just catch it, just hold it on this side while it's closing, and voila, that is how the factory did it. Make sure that this bundle of wires doesn't get caught. That's not really a problem. Just watch out for the ribbons. The ribbons are a bitch. And close it up. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap. Obviously this is rubber and it can be compressed a little bit, but don't compress it too much, because this is a structural component of the internal electronics, and if this gets tweaked, this will tweak the electronics. You don't want to do that, so just leave a gap. That's it. I'm not going to bore you with putting this back, with screwing the case back together. Just wanted to show what the device looks like when it's closed, when it's totally closed up. There is a little bit of a gap here, and there's a gap here where the wire goes in. Otherwise, oh, and there's this box here. Otherwise, the device works and functions exactly like it would, and it's already sealed up. I'm going to test it with you guys to make sure. It's looking for the Wi-Fi, and now it's connected to the Wi-Fi. All right.